All right, I'm back for another adventure. Um, Let me see if this microphone plays nice. So yeah, on the note of technology failing, my normal mouse, I guess, stopped registering right and left clicks today. So it scrolls across the screen real pretty, but it doesn't actually do its job. So I had to jump to a backup mouse. Luckily, I had one available. So since the last time we were here, I cleaned some stuff up off screen, and I'll kind of walk through that real quick because I didn't want to do it on screen because it was really really annoying. What I determined through reading the interwebs is that the way I was trying to do it is likely not the way it should be done in Flutter, so or Dart, Flutter, what have you. So the change that I made is that pet state is not a sealed class. I took all of the types away. I kept the factories that I had, and I kept the copy with method. So everything, and I added a status, a add pet. I don't know. State status just feels extra verbose for no reason. So there's an add pet status, which gets added for each one. I didn't test it, but we could. The copy with method is still intact, and we added the status to the props list. So we got one failing test at this point, and it's because I'm trying to prove that when I actually save the results out, that animal is a sealed class. No, yep, we answered this question, so this to do can go away. Beautiful. It's not a sealed class, or it is a sealed class. I'm sorry. So this is where I was looking at this concept to try and do like jazz, but this feels weird. It feels like I'm creating an OCP violation by putting all of the stuff here, i.e., in order for me to add a new animal, if I want to continue to use this generic animal factory, I have to put something that doesn't belong with animal and change its concerns to make it pay attention to it. I.e., while a dog is an animal, like, why does the animal care what number of animals inherit from it, right? Like, it shouldn't matter. So if we have to change the animal class every time we add an animal, in my opinion, that's an OCP violation, and we shouldn't do it. So I don't think I'm going to use this approach here, but I am going to go back now that I realize that I actually already created a dog because, oop, yeah, see, that's that having a different mouse. Now that I know that I have a dog, I can put my dog there. Oh, dog requires all those things, doesn't it? Dog requires a name. Name. It requires a date of birth. Date of birth. It requires a weight. Give it a weight. What else does it require? Oh, breed and gender. Breed is going to be the breed, and the gender is going to be gender.male. Because we are talking about my dog. Alright. I'll probably take that and put that up at the top in a second. Alright, so there we go. Okay. So we expect the thing to return us a dog that looks like this. Oh, but we're also expecting the completed... Oh, no, sorry. If the repository add returns us a dog, then it's savvy and we should be completed and we should have a completed state. I don't think I actually care about any of this when I'm complete, but given the fact that I already have the information, I might as well keep it. But I don't think I actually care about any of this when I'm considering myself complete. I think complete is just a convenience thing to trigger some UI state change. I think that's how my brain rationalizes it, so that's kind of where I am with it. I'm gonna keep finicking with this microphone stand all day because it's aggravating and doesn't want to stay where I want it to stay. So, given that I made that change when the repository answered, if we go to the block and we look at the save method, oh wait, no, let's go back here. Let's click on the save method, and we see that it adds the event. The event hits the state. The repository kicks off. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We actually want to just, okay, that's going to be the hard part. The animal add, we have to determine what type of animal it is in order to be able to save it. So we'll need some, that's okay. So I get the OCP violation there, but it just feels weird. It feels like I should be able to do like a factory of factories as opposed to creating that violation. Maybe I'll have to figure that out later, if that's a pattern that Dart actually adheres to. My dog is barking. I don't know why. We will create the dog. Ooh, let me do that. That's going to be state.id. It's going to be... And the other thing is okay, well, maybe I don't have a... Oh, this is why it wants me to put the null operator, because these things are nullable. But a dog is not nullable. So once I validate it, so okay, I need, yeah, there we go. Validate me. Dun dun dun. That actually gets kind of weird. How do I handle that? I guess I would do like a dog factory of sorts, where okay, so then maybe that's how you do factories, but I still think that creates an OCP violation, so I'm going to be wary of that, but we're just going to try this for now just to get moving. Dog factory, factory, okay, I see how it's factory dog dot factory is going to create a thing with dog, and it needs all of those stuffs, right? So we would need to pass all that in through this factory. That's not how it works. Dun, dun, dun. We'll just go ahead and it's just going to be that. Oh, that's no good. Alright, so that's required for the factory. So it gets all its stuff. And I can just throw an exception here in the factory if any of those things are null. Or I can set default values for some of them if they're not available. I don't want to do that though. Anytime you start setting the values, stuff starts to get weird later on. So I'm actually just going to use the operator here, and I'm going to put it to come back later to not suck. Oh wait, there's already one there to validate. Validate me, remove, bang. Oh, dun dun dun. I am smart. Validate. Just use the thing. It's the same thing. My brain will remember. I'll remember that I think I'm smart. Or that I think I'm a comedian. Alright, so if that's what we're doing, we're just emitting that state of completed. So then here, if I go back to my tests and I run this test, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. There's still some, oh no, the analyzer's just bugging out, okay. Oh, because the file it got rid of. Wah, 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 wah. No, but it didn't get anything. So why? The save gets where's okay. So then now the question is I'm calling the save when the save event gets emitted. When I hit save, I add pet save event. Right? Okay, this is actually the problem. I'm smart. That's my problem. I'm smart, and I think that I know too much. So here we go. We're gonna fix this right now. What we're gonna do? Cause I'm like, wait, there's a complete and total like piece of this puzzle missing when it comes to quote unquote clean architecture. Um, and I do it all the time, and it's just funny. Anyway, so here we are. We've got entities, we got repositories. I'm gonna create a folder. So I've read and seen the stuff where uh, Dart uses the use case concept. I am not a fan of the use case concept. I think it just kind of muddies the water. Like I think everything is a use case, right? Like give me an understanding of why you think this thing has this behavior and what its behavior does for the system, right? Like that's a use case in my opinion. Really, what I think we are doing in the world is adding adding commands and queries to the world that we live in. So there's a pattern that I use called mediator, which has like it's kind of like a CQRS type of deal, but it's not, but it is. And you get your commands, you got your queries, and you segregate those responsibilities, right? So like the way I see this is just a like just like you would have any other use case handler, right? This is going to be the same thing. So actually, let me go find one that I can just pull over. Come on, you can do it. And it might not be apples to apples because I there's an implementation that I have that I'm working on to get this working the way I want it to work through dependency injection, which I'm not going to debut here because it's not really ready. But it is on my list of things to do. So I'm just looking for an example of one that I have where I've done such things as uh, do the thing the way my brain thinks it should be done. All right, so I got a command, and I'm just gonna do this. All right, so I got a class and do save pet command handler. Um, and don't think we care. We just want to do a future either failure or animal, right? Like that's what we want to do. We either want to return an animal, and then we're just gonna call execute, and that's the basic gist of it all. Import that thing, import Dart Z, life is good. So now this handler is going to be the next set of thing that we test because we've got a issue in my opinion. Like I don't actually want to call the repository directly from the block. I want some level of segregation between the block and the rest of the subsystem. So the block is really just going to issue a command to the domain. The domain is going to process the command, and then the domain is going to respond to the block, and that's how that's going to go in the world. It's the same thing if you're using use cases. I just don't like the semantics of the use case because in my opinion it makes it that, oh well, this is a like it kind of puts commands, queries, and events kind of all into one bucket, and in my opinion they should be treated separately. I.e., commands, sometimes we don't care what the return value is. Like in this case we do, right? We want an animal back, but sometimes we don't care about the return value, right? Like so the return value could just be as simple as returning a unit, which is just a completion understanding, right? Which, in actuality, that's the way I'm going to do this. That's exactly how I'm going to do this. Um, because I just need to know that the command completed successfully, and if it doesn't, I'll get a failure back, right? Like that's the beauty of this functional programming style and doing it this way. So now my command is just a thing that gets sent in and either completes or it fails. Simple. But a query where I need to go and here's some information, take this information and bring me back more information, then I actually need to return something. So I'm running my mouth. I'm going to come down here to tests. I'm going to come to features. I'm going to go to pet add. We put this under add. We're going to put the domain cancel. We're going to do a new directory, and we're going to call this domain. And then we're going to say, nope, this is fun. The sensitivity on this mouse is not what I'm used to, so I'm like clicking and about to delete stuff. It's going to be a fun show. New Dart test, save pet command handler, not a uppercase handler. There we go. All right, so now I've got a thing. So let's do a late thing, and we'll call this the hand. We're going to call this what we need to call it, which is the system under test. Yep. Bring in the package. Oop, not again what we wanted to do, but okay. This is fun and exciting here, folks. More system under test is going to equal save pet command handler, right? So far, so good, right? But now what we actually want to do is we want to segregate. So we need to go back here actually real quick. The other thing that this allows me to do is I've noticed that when people do, or I don't know, again, I'm new. So the examples that I've seen up to this point, people are registering the use cases as single instances, and I prefer my commands and my queries to be transient instances that just get instantiated just in time for when they're needed. So that's a slight difference, which is why I use the mediator pattern so that I can achieve that. I.e. the mediator can sometimes be scoped or single instance, but the handlers that it creates are transient, because I don't want the handlers maintaining state. So this needs to be injectable, so we add injectable. Yay, we've already added injectable. Life is good. Save pet command, and then we'll go to the pet block real quick, and we'll change out that actual dependency. So we'll swap that that means we need to go do that too. We'll do a required, and we'll call that save pet command handler, and we'll do so normally I wouldn't actually inject these directly. I would inject the mediator, but like I said, my stuff isn't ready. And I'll even tell you I'm using a Dart implementation based upon the C# implementation I'm most comfortable with to do what I want, but it's only because I'm trying to make it extremely opinionated. Otherwise, I would just use what's out there. I actually want my handlers to be in a functional style, so I want them to return ethers, and it gets kind of weird trying to do some of the generics. So I'm finding that this is the best approach for me, or the easiest approach for me is to do it myself. So okay, that's injectable. I'm injecting that in there. I can take this out now. I then need to go to not my container config, but my mocks and my generate, and I need to come here and paste in the save command handler. Otherwise, I will get things that start to break. So this is where it's like, okay, putting test code and production code together has always been something that I'm very much against. But the reality of this is like, okay, if I already have my registration here, what's to stop me from just putting my mock generation right here when I create my thing? Like, I'll still get the same error, and I'm not a fan of it, but like the convenience of it is starting to allure me again into wondering why I hated it in the first place, and I'm sure I'm gonna find out again. Meaning I'm gonna end up going down that rabbit hole again and teaching myself the same lesson of why I don't do that thing. Yeah, we'll do the handler. save pet command handler, which means this will be that. It'll be save pet command handler. That means that this now becomes this. We no longer have to fold the failure. We can just do a handler dot right now. Yeah, we're gonna have to execute. We're gonna have to send that information in. So we're gonna have to send in an actual command. So I'm gonna wrap it in a command to prepare myself for using the CQRS pattern, but I don't think that it actually matters. And then I'll do result dot fold failure will just produce the failure for now, and a valid state will give me that. Is that sufficient? Do I want to do that? Okay, that looks better. Yeah, okay, that does look better. So when we do the execute, we'll actually have to do a save pet command. We'll do a class. And on that save pet command, yeah, we'll just put all the information that's on the state on the command. Can we? We can't put the state on the command because that brings the UI layer into the. So we have to like copy the stuffs, which, okay, that seems bad, but okay, I'll bite. The difference is the command construction can fail, and if the command construction fails, we'll get an issue here, which is I think what we want. So let me go back to this place. Let's go to the command. Let's dump all that stuff in here. Animal ID, yep, import all the things. Import. Oh no, we don't need the status. Status we don't need. Yay, we don't need status. And what we'll do is we'll treat this as like a data transfer object, in the sense that we will use this to create the correct thing inside the handler itself. So in the handler, we'll probably have a factory that will inject a factory that knows how to actually create the correct type, and we'll do like a factory of factories just for my sanity, because that's how I would do it in C#. I would probably actually just let the container resolve it, but I don't know if I can do that here with get it. So we're all gonna learn something new here today. Well, you probably already know, but I'm gonna learn something new. How's that? Which is why I'm here. I'm here so I can learn. Yep, you're still just mad. That means that this needs to be create for final fields, rename and required named. Yes. That is fantastic, other than you put it at the wrong depth. There we go. All right, so now we've got our object, which, oh, I know why you're yelling about that. Because extends equatable. Save. All right, so yes, now you can be constant. Everybody can be constant. Now you're still yelling, and you're yelling because what? So now the block needs to return a new save pet command. I don't know in my brain how that works yet still, so again, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Oh, there we go. C# brain. We're gonna do that again, aren't we? We're gonna just do state dot. No, come on, let's copy pasta. Copy pasta. Yep, all of you are gonna yell and scream and be mad because you're all nullable, and this can't be nullable. So for the moment, we're just gonna put the bang operator, because I think the act of validating is going to actually construct the command. I think that's how my FP brain works, based upon what I think I know of functional programming. And I'll again point out that I'm new to functional programming, like proper functional programming, so I'm still learning that as well. And I'm not 100% sure how I should do it, but I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try it that way. Okay, so now I've got a thing. So now if I rerun my tests, I'm gonna get failures because everything's broken. Oh, I'm not even gonna get that far because this thing doesn't have a proper implementation. Let's just return write unit. That's gonna have to be async. There we go. That's gonna be constant. Oh, you failed to load all the tests. My. What's going on in here? Oh, yeah, that's probably why. Did the mocks generate? Oh, it's regenerating now. That's why. So let's do a late mock pet. No, mock save handler, save pet command handler. We will put this. So I was having a conversation with somebody earlier this week about TDD and the way TDD works and the way we work through. And I, again, I'm not a TDD guru. Like I don't follow the dogma. I believe in behavior driven development, for the record, again, which is slightly different. But the key point of it is that the question came up. Well, do you start writing tests before you write to flush out your API surface, and then you have to go back and change tests? And I'm like, well, there's a couple ways of looking at that, but I'm only going to talk about the two that are closest to my brain. One way to look at that is, oh, well, I just wasted a whole bunch of time and wrote these tests, and now everything's broken. Or, in this case, I made a behavior change to the block, right? And I have tests that are already written that used to run, used to work. So now when I change the behavior, everything should still work, right? Like there's two ways of looking at it. I don't look at writing tests often. I don't look at writing tests as a waste of time, unless we're just asserting like simple things that don't matter. But if I'm giving you an input and getting a proper output, I don't see that as a waste of time. I do understand the sentiment behind that concern, right? Like you spend a whole bunch of time writing the test, and then you realize that the test is not, or that the way you're going to do it, you got to scrap it. Okay, yeah, I get it. But in a similar vein, I think the invested time in writing the test is part of what not all the time, but sometimes, is part of what shows me what my problem is altogether anyway. I.e., as I'm flushing out the tests, if I'm creating something new and it's an API surface thing, I'll flush out the API surface and be like, oh, well, clearly I don't get it still, right? Or it's not working the way I want it to work, or this isn't going to work, and I scrap it, But this is the thing. I've been writing code a long time, and I'll tell you that not all my code makes it to production. Not the way I write it the first time, right? Like it's an iterative process. So if you are leaving yourself a healthy trail of breadcrumbs, you'll be able to get back and continue to make progress. Okay, so now all those tests that we're running should, at minimum, function. This is going to break because this doesn't have a dependency, which, okay, that's fine. So let's go back up to the top and completely remove that dependency from the list of stuff that you can use in this class. Yeah, it's the only one that's actually complaining about it. All right, cool, perfect. So we do save, come on, save pet command handler question pet. That's the problem. I can't type execute any. It's going to return a unit. Now, this breaks down, this concept of the command query segregation breaks down when you have the instance where you want to send something in and still get a return value. I can still do it. I can just return the domain object that I already have that has been saved. Some people would say that that's technically incorrect. You have to use the return value of the method, and you got to daisy chain it back up. The point is that if I want to change that return type from unit, I can change that return type from unit anytime I want. But I don't care right now. I just want to know that the thing happened and keep moving forward. So I think if I rerun my tests now it should pass. Block state pass. Block state pass. Come on, you can do it. If it doesn't pass now, like I'm just gonna laugh at myself and ha 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 ha. So we're still not functioning. Why are we? Why is this not working? Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so we send in the pet save handler. We get in here. We call the thing. It's calling execute on the stuff. So is it that the tests can't get past this? Am I pet initial state? Right, but the state, what state am I sending in? Oh, derp. I see what I'm doing wrong. I need to seed the thing with the completed state. And now that I've seeded the thing with the completed, no, it doesn't need to be completed. It needs to be right before completed, which is going to be gender. There we go. Let's try that. That should work. Now that it has the correct state, it'll actually have values. I'm like, why is this not green? Oh, maybe because the null operator is telling me something about the fact that I'm not good at this. Still shorter than expected. So, okay, we're about to debug this thing now. Because it should return... Oh, no. That shouldn't matter. Yeah, when you send in any command... Oh, maybe it doesn't work that way. Okay, maybe I have to send in a actual valid command, and maybe that's the problem. Animal ID type is going to be dog. Everything else should be savvy. Image we're not going to worry about right now. Matter of fact, I might take image off altogether as part of the ad and make it something that you have to do later. Okay, fine, whatever. That's a tomorrow problem. So then that's going to be a save command, and maybe that's my problem. I'm legitimately just throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks before I actually have to debug this test, because debugging tests makes me grumpy. What I love about it is I can do that. Like, I can just throw things at the wall and see what sticks because it's just a test. Okay, so clearly it's failing. So let null check operator use on a null value. Yep, that's clearly what's going on. So what are we... Nope, that's not going to matter. Okay, no, it's going to be save pet. Let's pin the tab. So you're telling me that I'm using the null coalescence operator on something when I'm trying to call this here. And you're telling me that the state that's being passed in. All right, here we go. Grumpy Gus. Yeah, okay, great. Take that off. Save, we don't care. We assume that part is working. Yep, there we go. It is an error. But it's not telling me where it's not letting me... I should have a breakpoint, right? Oh. Wah, 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 wah. Debug. Yeah, where's the stack though? Like there's Add pet state event, add pet handler, dynamic. Do I need to rerun the, no? Okay, let's do this. Let's be the smarts. Let's take that, stop the thing. Drop that for a second. So we will go ahead and say final command equals that. Right, so that we can put a breakpoint specifically here. Because like I'm trying to put it before the thing gets constructed. Like there's no way that type should be. Okay, let's try it this way. Let's do it this way actually. Let's take all of this because we want to emit a failed state, right? Because we're going to need that anyway, right? We're going to need a completed and we're going to need a failed, right? Because this thing can possibly fail. Failed. All right, whatever. So what we're going to do is emit. Oh, this is where not having additional. Oh, yeah, it shouldn't matter. It won't matter. We're gonna grab this all the way to this. We're gonna cut that out the picture. We're gonna do a try block on so we're going to do that, and if there's an exception thrown, we are going to emit add pet status dot failed. Now that okay. I need an actual state. Dun dun dun. So this maybe becomes no, because we don't want to inherit that constructor. We don't. Well, we probably actually do want to maintain all of the data. So we do need a failed, so we can maintain the state that we had. Ugh. I'm probably gonna come back to this later and be like, I don't like this. Rip it out. Emit add pet state dot failed. So much fun. Cause okay, so if okay, I know what I can do. I know what I'm gonna end up having to do here in a minute. So let's go ahead and do it. That. Nope. Can't do that. Can't do that. There we go. Status on this pet state failed. Oh, it's gonna be failed. Alright, so it's failed. This we don't care whether or not they're. Oh, well, maybe we do. Oh, no, that's not going to work. So we just need to know this for the failed state. It's actually probably not a good idea. We're going to do this for now. Failed. Okay. So now if we go back and run the pet status is not exhaustive. If it fails, if it's going to add it, can it just add it like in the enumeration like number where it exists in the enum? That would be fantastic. The test that would not pass. I'm going to jump off of this in a minute because this is going to start breaking my brain. Wait a minute. So I'm providing it with everything it requires, right? All those things are required. What am I doing wrong? Seed the state with gender. So when I click save, the block saves. Okay, so at least it's... This is weird. The null check operator is used on a null value, but it doesn't tell me exactly where it happens. Okay, so then we just have to assume that something that we passed in. So let's put a breakpoint here, see if that gets us to where we want to be. Because like we should be able to... We should be able to... Okay, here we go. So this is the initial state. Oh wait, I don't want to debug them all. I just want to debug that one test. Let's go back to the run. Oh goodness, how does this work? Let's do this. Let's get rid of that. Let's delete that configuration. Yes. Let's come back here. Let's run all the tests. Yep. We expect it to fail. That's fine. Failure is fine. Now I want to debug. Okay, so I got to come to the test and debug that test. Initial state, okay. Stack, rethrow, stack trace. That's what I want to see, is the stack trace. Click to see the stack trace. AddPet, save, anonymous. Oh, this is giving me the... No, that's for the... Okay, this seems right so far. I'm gonna shut up and just pay attention. Because like it has all the state, or it should. This might be where I saw there's an issue when you see the state. So let me try it a different way. Okay, yep, I remember now. I remember. So now instead of doing it this way, let's do this, where instead of seeding the state, because I've seen issues with trying to seed state and doing it that way. Let's do... In this group, we'll do a setup. And in the setup, we will set the AddPet block equal to AddPet block. We'll give it the command handler, and we will give it an initial state of that, because that is our expected initial state. We close that off with a thing. Now we've got a pet block. Now our pet block has, now we know it should have the correct state. We are doing a proper win. Let's try this, and maybe it's not me. Likely is me. Usually think it's me first. Like, oh no, I did it. I broke it. I broke all the stuff. And then I go out there to GitHub and I'm like, oh no. I didn't break this. Man, bump this test. This test is broken. I don't care about it. Yeah, I really don't actually, because I don't understand what's going on here. I expect completed. Save. It's null check operator used on a null value. Okay, so the only one that could be, right? Let's go be smart and think and use brain cells, right? So that means that it's clearly the image, and the image needs a right. It's got to be the image. It's got to be the shoes. Then again, also like pounding my head against a red test for an hour will also make me grumpy too. So we're not really gaining anything by not debugging, for the record. I'm just being lazy. Brilliant. Okay. So now, yep, we'll do this same thing here. We will do this. If we return a failure, we will emit the state of the copy. We can now go back to our block test, and we can say, and we can take this block test, and we can check for, that's completed. That's the end of the test. So we'll duplicate this test, and we'll say that it should emit failed when it has any, this time we don't care. Anything, we're just going to do a left failure. It's going to give me the abstract problem, right? It's going to say, you can't do that because it's a sealed class. Yeah. Let's just call it a connection. Or what kind of failures do we have actually? Data access failure. Ooh, I just realized what's going on there. We don't need to do that. This doesn't need to be. Why is this even over here by itself? Who decided that that was the smart way to do this? That's my C# brain again. Everything has to be in its own file. It's kind of how we do things, but let's do, yeah, for now, and just say failed to do the thing. Let's just go ahead and put nope. Nope, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Failure load. I'm so good at this. So good. Still failing to load. That means that we broke the theme as well. Okay, we don't really care about that. That's fine. And what else did we break? We broke theme, domain, tests. Trying to access stuff that don't exist. Import. Import. Alright, so now if we go run all our tests again, we don't have anything red in the Dart analyzer. It's Dart analysis, but it's an analyzer, whatever. Still with this failing test. Oh, wait. Hold up. This is the one that says it should be failed. Okay, this is the new test. Expect. Oh, no, we expect failed. Oh, was that it? Yeah, I think that's what it was. We expected complete and it was failed. Good. That teaches us that if we're not paying attention, the tests can save us sometimes. Just sometimes, though. Tests aren't miracle workers. They can't save us from ourselves. But they can save other people from us. Okay. Okay, so that's all working. Yay. Let's go look at the command, and we've got some tests for, let's collapse that. All right, so this thing now I'm going to say that this thing needs a pet repository. Oop, nope, that's not how it works. Pet repository. Pet repository. I'll only ever need that one. I don't know. We're going to do underscore pet repository. Where's pet repository? Yes, I know you're going to tell me that, hey, it can just be public, Rodney. Yeah, it can. It's not going to be, but it can. You're right. You don't need to do that. You can just use the this. Yeah, I know. Oh, trust me. I know. And then give everybody outside the command handler access to the repository. Ugh. Who will do that? Field, make it final. Does it have to be late? Okay, I guess. Oh yeah, I guess it has to be late because it's happening at construction, not during construction or something like that. Isn't used. Yes, we know it's not currently being used. But what we need to do at this point is rerun the tests so we can get the thing to pick up. This is now going to require a late pet repository equals mock pet repository. I'm going to change this to that. I'm going to do pet repository. Oh, we didn't make it a named thing. Let's go do that real quick. Required pet repository. Yep. There we go. All right. Okay, so now we have a command handler that we can do the thing. Why is my container config barking? Oh, okay. I know why. All right, it'll be fine. Let's go look at the save pet command tests, and we want to just group it under execute, even though that's the only method in there. We're still going to group it under execute. Likely won't need a setup. We don't need a block test, so here we're just going to say should return completion, right? And we're going to say final result system under test dot execute. When we send in a command, we put one in here. We're going to just grab that out. Nope. Come on. You can do it. Oh, it's in here. Save pet command. We're going to copy that bad boy. We're going to paste this joker right in here. Save pet command equals that. And we're going to do a late save pet command. Save pet command. Alright, so now we're just going to give it, I don't think we care, animal ID. I think we're going to give it the type of dog. I think we're going to give it a name. It's going to be a boxer. Year's going to be 2021. Month is going to be the 11th month And the day is going to be the 10th. Yeah. He's 90 pounds. There we go. Oh, it doesn't do named. Oh. Okay. Okay. That gets scary, actually. I think I would actually prefer those be named. Okay. Anyway. So we're going to send in the save pet command. This is going to be async. Execute the thing, and then we're going to do a expect the result to match unit. Oh wait, no, it's going to be right unit. Right. That's our expectation. We're going to await the thing. Then we're going to import .z. That's going to be a const. And we're going to run our tests again. And we should have another passing test. It's going to fail. It's going to fail. Watch it fail. If it doesn't fail, I'm going to make it fail. Why would you do that, Rodney? To make sure that it passes correctly. I don't always believe that the tests should pass the first time. As a matter of fact, if they pass the first time, I'm actually very, very wary. Saved event. No, we don't care about that. We care about this. Oh, did this not execute in the tests? It did not. It should get picked up as part of the tests. Sweet. Alright, let's do that then. And let's kill that. Do I have to do anything? I don't have to do anything special to make it tests, right? Like it's a test. It has a setup. It gets executed. I grouped based upon the thing. It should get okay. Okay, so I mean it's clearly picking it up and it's executing it. So why are you okay? Let me go look at the test execution just to make sure that I'm not like losing my marbles. All tests in the test directory. Yeah, that seems right. Yep. Call it coverage. Run it. But they aren't showing up. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to continue to move down the path. Alright, so we know that execute works. We don't need this setup. So test should return failure. There we go. This is where I start to question, did that test actually pass, right? When, because we didn't mock the repository. Repository, pet repository dot add any dot then answer right. Oh no, it should be left. Data access failure. Message. Nope. That's going to be async. That's there. That becomes a const, and we need to put these things everywhere so that Dart knows to do that. Okay, so now my expectation would be that this thing is the left, right? Seems reasonable in my mind. Okay, so my expectation is that this is how it's going to play out. Right? When the add throws a failure or returns a failure, that should be propagated back out. But I'm still not getting those tests to show up in the Explorer. Is there like an equivalent of like a clean? Oh, I know why. Do you know why? Everything is convention based in Dart, so when you don't do things by the convention, you basically screw yourself, and I am not smart enough to have learned that. That's all. That's all that is. Huh. Okay. There we go. Return completion. Return failure. It's saying that it's data access. That's in the mock repository. So then we will go to the pet repository. Oh, wait. We'll go to the command handler. And we will do this. We will say final result equals at repository dot add pet. We're going to pull the factory in here. All right, and that's going to be command dot name, command dot breed, command dot. So we're going to await this. So now that should be either. And then we're going to return result dot fold failure. We're going to return the failure. And if it's right, we are going to return unit. Wah, 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 wah. Does that mean the add was the either animal or? That seems right. So if I return the result, failure isn't future either as required by the closure. I awaited it, it's async. I'm returning failure. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's what it is. I don't need to do a. I need to do a dot map. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now the first test is failing, like it should be, because we didn't actually stub this thing out. So let's go grab this, and let's do that. Oh, womp womp. We tried. We tried to be smarter than a fifth grader, but it didn't work. We want it to return. right. Right, so we'll do wait dog. Dog will equal dog, and fine, whatever. All this should be the exact same, so that shouldn't matter. Type we don't need. We know it's a dog. All right. So right dog. Dog is an animal, right? What is it? Arguments of constant creation must have constant expressions. Okay, cool. All right, all my tests are passing, so my save handler works. I don't think I'm gonna test my repository just yet, and I think what I'm gonna end up doing is creating a mock implementation of a data source. So let's go do that real quick. And I think that's where we're gonna probably call it quits for the week. We have a repository, so let's don't like that. Data. See, there we go again. New directory. We'll call it stores, and we will call it a in-memory pet store. In-memory pet store. That's cute. In-memory pet store, and we'll do create read syntax. So future. I think it's going to be future void. And it's going to just be create. Let's do this. Let's duplicate that. Let's just call this a pet store. Let's call that abstract class pet data store in memory. This is going to be the and implementate C# strikes again. For now, we're gonna have a create. We're gonna have future animal DTO. I'm gonna call that read. IDs. Animal. Okay, let's animal ID. We're gonna do a list of the things, which we're not gonna need right now, but we'll need later, and we'll probably just no op it for now because we don't care. Create read. It needs to be read all. Call this update. It's gonna be delete, and that's gonna be delete all. Guess we gotta go create an animal DTO, so we'll go here, we'll create a directory, call this DTOs, and DTO, there we go, DTO, And then we'll do Dart file animal underscore DTO class. And there we have it. All right, so now we can come back over here. We can hit the thing. We can import the package. That is now happy. So we've got create, read, update, delete. This actually needs to be an entirety of an animal DTO so that we can do the proper update. The in-memory store will just have an underlying list of these things. What's this going to be called? Let's do this. It's going to be lists. It's going to be animals equals that. That seems good. We want this to be encapsulated. And then here we're just going to go ahead and create the 6 missing overrides. All right, let's put that at the bottom. I've started to become a fan of putting my privates at the bottom because of somebody that I've been working with for the past several years. Reminds me that this is the least important information in a file or in a class, really. You don't care, and the IntelliSense will take you there, so put the important stuff at the top is the gist of what he taught me. Underscore animals dot add. Oh, let's delete that one. Take this again. Do create animal. Animal DataStore. Yep. So we're going to create an animal. We're going to read an animal. Okay, so now here, this will do the thing. Again, it puts it at the, like now it's just being cute. Create. Oh, it put it in alphabetical order, which that makes sense. I can live with Dart doing that at the implementation. Create, read, update, delete. I just want it to be in this order so that my small tiny brain can understand how it's supposed to work. All right, we will do async add animal. We will do final result equals animals dot first where animal dot I know. I've used this recently. What is the test supposed to look like? First where element. I just did, isn't it? Just gonna do that. Oh. Wah. Exchange operands. Why does that matter? Why even give me that option if it doesn't? Okay. Return result. That needs to be async then. There we go. Read all is going to be return underscore animals. That's going to be async as well. I don't want to implement update or delete any of that right now. That's good enough for the moment. So now I can read make final. Yeah, sure, that seems good. Because we're explicit. This is going to be a at inject at lazy singleton as animal data store. Yeah, okay. So that's going to be my animal data store that everyone sees. My pet repository implementation is now going to take in a animal data store. Wired animal data store. That's going to be import the package. There we go. So now this thing is going to do what? It's going to do try on exception return data access failure. Failed to add the animal. You'll be fine. Oh, does that have to be wrapped in a left? I think it does. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. Add const. All right, so try final result equals. We're smart. That's why. Create field. Let's call this late final. And let's do underscore animal data store dot create pet. All right, let's do animal DTO. And I think that's where we're gonna leave off. And then we'll do result void, and then we'll do return right pet. Right. All right. So that seems like an implemented add. So if we go, we got animal data store is required. There's no corresponding argument on 32. Yeah? I don't think that's correct, but okay. Oh, and the container config. Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. But we'll rebuild the container here in a minute. Okay. All the tests are still passing, so that's a good sign that we're headed in the right direction. So now, let's just recap on where we are, right? So we've got the adding of a pet with its own subset of the feature, right? We've got a save command. So this may end up getting moved up. Who knows? This is actually technically an AddPet command. So now my brain is even more aggravating. It's actually really a create. Which means we got to go change all the semantics. Yep, now let's go look at the tests. This is going to be create. That's what we're doing here is we're creating a new pet. Yep, create pet command. This is gonna be. Alright, so now if I go, I think I got one more place to make a change, which is gonna be in the block itself. Add pet. Exception pet status. Create. So yep, we're gonna do create. Okay. Create. All right, so we're just gonna run our tests again real quick just to make sure that we haven't lost ourselves in the sauce, and I think we'll call it quits for the day. This has been a successful session, I think. We've got the command query separation. We've got all of this stuff set up, so now we can start back at looking at the UI and the entries and all that stuff, which I know is what most people want to see, right? They're like, well, show us how to do Dart things. I'm like, eh. Show us Flutter UI stuff, Rodney. Stop showing us how to do things like add business logic. Pfft, just stick it right in the UI. Who cares, right? Which is like how things used to be when I first got into programming. Like, it was like pfft, everybody was just like YOLO. Throw the logic in the UI, and if not post back, do this like ridiculous chunk of code right there in the page. Good old days. All right. Yep. Add pet block, create pet command handler. All right, I think I'm happy with where I am. We've got a set of 24 tests, and everything seems like it's moving in a good direction. Next week, I think what we'll do is we'll work through the UI. I've got this text entry bit that's already here. This is what I didn't show you. I have this text entry bit that I wrote that I'm gonna try and style and make sure that it looks like the appropriate thing, and I'm gonna put it on this AddPet screen where I've got all of my statuses. You see I've got the type, so we're going to start with the type, and we're going to try and present a text entry with that, and we likely need like a placeholder text value, so we'll need to be able to pass in like entry, or let's just call it description, right? That makes it easy. Bang. And then we can just add the name, the parameter, description, required string. I'm a stickler for stuff, so I want things done in a certain way. There we go. And there we go. This gets us where I think we want to be for the moment. Okay, so this is probably where we're going to start next week. We've got our text editing controller in here. We've got our block, which I don't think we're actually going to use it that way. I don't think we're going to have to instantiate it. I think I'm going to do the cheat way and just do the widget inside the widget and get the widget bits off of it. Which is, oh no, I'm actually probably, no, I think I can just do context. Oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing context.read up here in the initial state, so I have a section of the block, so I don't have to put this code everywhere. Okay, that makes sense. Widget unchanged. Oh, I don't think that matters. I think the way I have it set up is that the pet state, is doing the context.read, and it's providing the onChange. So I think that's how I'm going to pass these things in. But I think that's where we're going to start next week. Is we've got everything working to a degree. We believe that it works. We've got dependency inversion. We've got some entities. I might work on the entities over the week, just so that I can get like the conversion from DTOs to domains done. But yeah, I think this is a good place. I think we're in a good place. I think I'm finally catching my stride on this particular piece. and understanding how I'm gonna have to lay this whole thing out. Getting this piece done was the hard part. Was understanding how I was actually gonna switch on the different UI states, but I think I'm good to go now. Yeah, so I think we're gonna pause here. Thank you for joining, and we will see you next.